2023 has been a good year for gaming so far, and in this video I'll tell you about the 10 games that I definitely think are worth checking out. I'll be starting this list off in release date order, so at number 1 we have Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush's launch was super unexpected because it was released the same day it was announced. Tango Gameworks, the developers responsible for Hi-Fi Rush, are most notably known for the Evil Within games and Ghostwire Tokyo. I'm a casual fan of beat-em-ups and hack-and-slash action games, and even I can see how amazing Hi-Fi Rush is. You have artists such as Nine Inch Nails performing boss battle themes, combos that have to be performed on the beat, and an art style that's just breathtaking to look at. Hi-Fi Rush is a stellar action-packed game that, anyone can enjoy. For the more hardcore fans, Hi-Fi Rush even includes a harder difficulty and challenges after completing the game. As of writing this video, Tango Gameworks is still updating the game, and today they added a arcade challenge.
This is Senior Medical Officer Nicole Brennan. Medical is overwhelmed. We need help.
So number 2 on this list is probably no surprise to most people, the Dead Space remake. Dead Space as a franchise was dead in the water for many years thanks to the great old EA. When they announced the remake, I was pretty skeptical because let's be honest, if it's coming from EA, you have to kind of expect some kind of controversy. But Motive, the developers behind the remake, knocked it out of the park. Bringing the Ishimura back to life, having the entire ship connected, and adding side quests on top of that made the experience feel totally fresh and new. The original Dead Space was one of the first horror games that got me into the genre, so having a modern version with all the bells and whistles made this old gamer super happy. Number 3 on the list is an indie horror game that I've been looking forward to for some time. Sons of the Forest released into early access earlier this year with the potential to be as great as the first one. The game is still in early access as of writing this video, but the developers are constantly adding new things to the game and even listening to community feedback. It has a co-op mode and even AI for those who prefer a more solo experience. I beat this game both solo and in co-op and can confidently say it's worth the money. The base building takes a bit of getting used to, but the amount of creative freedom you have can't be understated. Playing solo will make you clench your butt cheeks faster than you can say Kelvin.
I shall be your opponent. My turn.
Number 4 on this list is Octopath Traveler 2. Octopath Traveler is kind of a weird one for me because the first one was super enjoyable, although not without some flaws. I have yet to complete Octopath Traveler 2, but the 30 hours or so I put into the game I've really enjoyed. The music is amazing, the characters' main stories are really interesting, and the combat is even better. Every traveler now has a latent power that they can use in combat, similar to limit breaks in Final Fantasy games, that really add a ton of strategy and depth. The gameplay was super enjoyable in the first game, but even more so in the sequel. On top of that, there are secret jobs and each traveler can have a secondary job to level, adding even more variety among party members. A new addition I liked in the sequel is the cross-patch storylines. Essentially, it's a main story quest that involves more than one party member where they team up for a chapter. Number 5 will be on most people's list for Game of the Year. What can be said about Resident Evil 4 Remake that hasn't been already said? If you've been living under a rock for the last couple months, then you should know that RE4 Remake is spectacular. Some people are going to complain that they remove certain story beats from the original game, or a certain voice actor doesn't match a beloved character, but the overall package is truly amazing. Capcom has been killing it for the past couple years with Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, and the recently released Street Fighter, so it's no surprise that RE4 is being well received.
Got some new wares, stranger. You're in for a treat. Welcome. I've got something new for you, mate.
The amount of replayability is outstanding with new weapon unlocks, challenges, and difficulty modes. You can engage with any of the extra content as you see fit, but the addicting gameplay will definitely keep you coming back for more.
Thank you.
So number 6 is my personal game of the year so far, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. At this point, whenever Nintendo announces a new Zelda or Mario game, you know it's going to be an absolute banger. I poured so many hours into Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom is no exception. In fact, I think I probably put more hours into this game. Tears of the Kingdom introduced Sky Islands and the depths, which made exploration even more rewarding this time around. I feel like I constantly found new outfits, weapons, and interesting NPCs whenever I explored new areas. The new gameplay mechanics don't necessarily fix my problems with the durability system, but it does allow me to experiment with different kinds of weapons and fusions. If you own a Switch and want a game to hold your attention for hours on end, you can't go wrong with Tears of the Kingdom. Whenever a new Diablo game releases, all the diehard fans are excited to see what direction Blizzard takes with the series. I personally started with Diablo 3, but always heard good things about Diablo 2 as well. I played many seasons in D3, and the beta got me super excited for D4. I think Diablo 4 was a success for Blizzard, where their other games such as Overwatch 2 are really struggling at the moment. Microtransactions are going to rub a lot of people the wrong way, especially in a game that is priced at $70, but you can't deny that the game overall is super enjoyable to play. Endgame could use more content, so hopefully the upcoming season can fill that gap, but I easily put in 50 plus hours on my first character and started leveling a second class while eagerly anticipating the Season 1 content. Diablo 4 does have its flaws, such as the Nightmare Dungeon grind being the most efficient way to level to 100, which can be repetitive and boring to some of us. D4 is still a good time though, with multiple classes to level and a ton of variety and skills to choose from. It's even more fun in a group if you have friends, unlike me, but with the future content being promised, I think Diablo 4 is worth picking up if you're into action RPGs. "2023 has been a pretty good year for horror game fans. Amnesia: The Bunker released recently, and many are saying it's a return to form for the developers behind the Amnesia franchise. I personally haven't played the game myself, but I've seen gameplay and streams of people playing it, and I'm excited to dig into it once I clear up more of my backlog. Amnesia: The Bunker follows Henry, a soldier in World War I who gets injured and, you guessed it, wakes up with amnesia in a bunker. This time you have a way of defending yourself with a gun, explosives, and other tricks you can come up with. Horror games over the years have kind of evolved into being a walking simulator where you play hide and seek with the monsters, but The Bunker gives you multiple ways for dealing with the stalker. Resource management is similar to Resident Evil, where you'll be glad to be in a safe room storing your valuable items. So number 9 is kind of a surprise for me because I haven't heard about this game until recently, but it is BattleBit Remastered. I don't play multiplayer games too often, but BattleBit is right up my alley. I was a huge fan of the Battlefield franchise, but EA is gonna EA, so most fans were left with round-based shooters and battle royales. BattleBit supports up to 254 player servers, has multiple game modes, and the gunplay feels nice and responsive. The community, believe it or not, is what has been going back for more. Most multiplayer games have voice chat, but realistically no one uses it in favor of Discord or party chats on console. BattleBit has proximity chat just like the good old days. They even have a feature called Death Mic when your mic is open upon death, so you can curse out that one dude camping in the building with claymores. This game also runs on a potato and is $15 on Steam. This is fucking so dumb. Oh wait, how many kills did I get with a frag? 13, 14, 15, 16, 7. I got 17 kills with one frag grenade.
Avis, care to kill some Iron Blood? Gladly. Wyvern, you focus on the target. Understood.
So the last game on this list is gonna be pretty divisive, I think. FF16 is the last game on my list, but I kind of hesitate to put it on here. Now before you hit that dislike button, hear me out. The icon boss fights, the beautiful environments, and the addictive combat and lovely score from Soken all tie FF16 into an enjoyable experience. Where there are highs, there are also very, very lows. If you have experience with FF14, you might be able to relate to what I'm about to say. FF16 has an interesting introduction to the story that also drip feeds new content as you progress, such as hunts, new icon abilities, and new areas to explore. However, the pacing of the story takes a little bit of a hit the more you progress. I won't go into any spoilers here, but the combat being too easy relative to other hack and slash games makes the combat feel kind of repetitive and stale after a while. Also, the amount of side quests bogged down the pacing of the main story where the juicy stuff happens. I found myself skipping cutscenes and side quests to try and get back to the parts of the game I did enjoy. Overall, I say for on the fence with FF16. I would probably wait for a sale. However, I did put 50 hours into the game and did enjoy my time. It has its flaws, but the same can be said about all the other Final Fantasy games.
Where is he? Where is the dominant?
And that's my list for the best games so far in 2023. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. I'll be doing a list for the second half of the year once we get closer to December, so be sure to subscribe for that. Give the video a thumbs up, and as always, thanks for watching.